Hi, Hans again. This is from Request for Music. I'm going to show a bit how I would go around building some kind of generative music parts. I'm not really that good in creating generative music myself yet. I've actually only started scratching the surface. Most of the time, normally I'm playing with synthesizers in a much more rhythmic and melodic kind of way. So I need to be switching onto this kind of thing. But anyway, as you know, I've created modules for that. So the start from everything I do at the moment is then my generate modules. So that's my main controller. And when I create stuff like this, I try to get everything apart from each other. So that means that I'm taking this and I'm keeping my blank plate as sort of a divider module between all of the sections that I put in. So if I start off with something like this, most of the time I start off using or creating some kind of a drone. So the drone itself might be just as simple as having a VCO and some VCF and a VCA that could, or sorry, an ADSR that could probably enough. Because all you actually want is some low sound that might be running a bit and might be changing a bit. So that's basically it. So I could actually just start off by using this sound and not doing anything to create it in a different timing or something. But first of all, let's see what I want the overall sound to be. So most of the time, I really like my reverb I really like reverb in general, and I like delay in general as well. So, and obviously because I've got them in here, I can then use that once. So, excuse me for that. So I could take this in, and this would actually be sort of my master section. So I could actually take that blank plate in there as well, and I'll probably put a panner in there because I want it to be sort of my main mix that I want to set up, and I'll take my library out so you can see. So I've got some module or some set of modules that I want for a drone. I've got this output section, I've got my control section here. So first of all, let's just take the oscillator into the VCF. So I'm taking the output, putting it into the input of the filter. I'm taking an envelope, taking the out or the input of the filter, and I'll connect that to the output of the ADSR, and I'll use my ADSR and I'll connect that one up to the generate. So that will get, if I connect the cable properly, that is, it will connect those. I normally use sort of color coding for the cables, which means that everything that is a real gate, I'll put that in red. Everything which is an audio output signal, I'm taking that in that light greenish, light grayish part. And this here, an output signal like an envelope, I think of that as being a control signal, and I take that in this kind of blue. So at least I already see the different signals in there, although I have switched the transparency of the cables on so you didn't see, but this is the connection at the moment. I've got my generate, which is sort of driving the ADSR, and this is going into the VCF, and I'll take this out, and that goes into my panner, into some channel there, and I'll take my output of this and drive that, and those are all audio signals, so they'll remain that gray, and I'll take that into here, and then the output of this is going into my actual output of the voltage modular, and then I'll have to put stuff up. And this is only a sine wave at the moment, so I'll need to change this. I'll put it into something like this, and well, this is a very standard kind of saw wave, and I probably want to change the attack decay sustain release for this. So something like this, maybe. This already lives a bit more, and I'll put some delay and reverb in there. So So something like that maybe. So at least I've got some start of a patch. And obviously I could do lots more with the generator. I'm very simply using it. But for instance, I could have the filter being modulated by an LFO that comes from the generate, because all of those times are sort of interconnected. So if I take my LFO out of this and I'll put that into my timbre modulation, I could easily modulate that in the same tempo, or in maybe half that tempo or something, because you've got these knobs that can set it to a different tempo. This is set to 1/4, so that means that every 1.5 seconds it's going to drive my ADSR here, while this one is at 1/2 of the clock speed, so that's the half of the time of the gate. It's going to run a full LFO cycle on this. And if I change this, then obviously the overall speed is going to change. All of those are recalculated, so now it takes more time for this to fade in, fade out by using that ADSR. So I could start off by doing something like this, and then again, if I would just go and fade this out, I might just take something like this, which is the combination of that blank plate, because I actually didn't even connect this up, or didn't hook this up, but just to show you that I sort of connect those if I need to, because this is a section that I want to see if it's on or off. So then I connect the input of that plate to my gate, so I can see that that works. If I want to take those, let's see, where am I again? If I take those, come on, it won't work as I do. I take these and I just copy them, because the basis of this is okay, but obviously I want something else. Maybe I want a sequencer to drive this, so I could go and give my library, open my library and take a sequencer out, and the sequencer then could normally run by itself. So that means that if I take this, and I'll zoom out a bit so you can see it hopefully properly in the video program. So the sequencer, or maybe just zoom in first and just take this into sight. The sequencer itself has 16 steps, and I can decide how many steps I want. So let's say I just, for argument's sake, I'll just take 3 steps that are going to work, and those 3 steps I can connect them, hook them up to my pitch, the external input of my VCO here, and take this VCO into my VCF, same kind of pattern as was with the other one, of course, and this one takes this envelope from the ADSR, and the ADSR in itself is now driven by the gate output of the sequencer. And this, I'm going to take that into the second channel of that one, so as soon as I got some sound in there, as soon as I run it, it's going to run through all of these. And let's take this down, take this up a couple of octaves. So this one is running the sequence, but no pitch difference, of course. So and this is very fast at the moment, so I could take the speed down. It's at 120 and a bit, so let's take that to 60. So this is going through the other drone, as you can tell, and obviously since it's in the input of this, I could still take that a bit more to the right if I wanted to, although the echo takes care of everything at that same time. So we'll put this on a bit. So I got something like this, but the nice part is that at the moment it's running at free time. Let's switch this off for a while, so I don't have that filtering of the of that VCF, and I could. So I've only got the sequencer running at the moment. or sounding at the moment. So if I listen to this, now it's running that sequence straight again. I could actually have this play once by switching this on and use a gate in from somewhere. That somewhere could be from my generate module. So if I take this gate in and maybe just take the next one here, this was at a quarter as well. So now you hear that it's only running once every so many seconds. So it's that 9.4 seconds. It's at 1/4 now. So let's take it up to 1/16. So it's going to run at the original speed of this sequence, only at the amount of gates that it gets from the generate module. So I could do something like that. And actually, if I wanted to have more steps in the same time, let's maybe speed this up again. And take a bit more steps. I could easily go up to 6 or 8 or how many steps you'd like. Let's say that I want 7 steps and I want 2 of those sets of 3. I can actually, by shift clicking on this knob, I can take that out of the equation. And so I got 3 steps, 1 rest, and then the other 3. So I could take this up and, well, take whatever. So now I've got something like this, and that is going to be driven by whatever I had set here on my generate module. So if I click this on again, I still have my drone. I have that same sequence coming up every now and then. If I want it slower, just take this down to say maybe 1. So that means that at 1 it only does it every 37 seconds already. So yeah, it will take a while before this comes up again. But that obviously leaves room for other sections, so to speak. And actually this is still a text module, so I can do something like point to that thing on the right there, something like this, and sequence running. What is it? 6 notes plus rest or something like that, and tell it where it is combined, where it's connected to whatever is the rest is doing. And as said, what I want to do in the end is make sure that all of the connections that are gates, like from here, that everything is going to be red, so I can tell from all those connections. So here all of the connections are red indeed. This is a pitch, that the pitch I was taking that as a blue cable. This is a gate again, so take that in red. And so this is a pitch cable, so that's going to be blue. And that way I've got in the end a bit of overview on what is happening. And of course I can still just add any module in there that I want. So for instance, if I want this filter here on this sound, if I want it to be more, now it's already driven a bit by the modulation of that other LFO. And actually normally for modulation I take this sort of green color, and I connect that, and I could actually have an LFO running over that still. So take this LFO and maybe take the ramp, which is sort of the inverted kind of sawtooth, and take that over that and put that into my modulation here as well, and take that up. So I get something like this. And then, and that is what all the modules are created for. If I think that this is far too intense, the modulation, because there's no attenuator in here, and the attenuator in here is okay and fine, but it also has to deal with the other modulation. So in that case, what I could do is go to my mixer module that I have in here, because the mixer is not a really normal module, but the thing is that it can add stuff together. I can add the level, and I could amplify stuff like that. So if I take both of these or take them out once after the other, so I'll take it, that one here, take the other one there, and take this input there back again, I can still sort of amplify whatever part I want, or take the other one back, so it's not going to be that strong, and still have the option there, of course, to whatever. So I can do something like that, and I could even amplify both of them together, multiply them, so now the one is only working if the other one is high as well, so that you get this kind of modulation in there. And that's actually, I think, what generative music is about. So you have all kinds of different elements that together create some atmosphere. And talking about atmosphere, I'll leave this as is, I think. Let's see, I could actually save it for once, the demo as well. So let's save it. Oops, save it. Save it to add video. But just to let you hear, I've got stuff in there already. I thought at least, oh, I've put it in a wrong one. Anyway, I've got some stuff here, so let's just take some of those things out, and let's see if everything works. Hang on one sec, I need to save something before, because I've updated my panner modules. The panner modules were normal standard panners, but I wanted to be able to, as I just did, switch a full module on or off. So I need to be sure that I save this before, because it's just changed and it didn't allow me to do it normally. If I zoom out, you see that there's a whole lot of modules already that are in there. There's this generate module, of course, driving all that shit in here, and I didn't really look at splitting them up by using blank plates, but I'll see if I can, because it's already running, so I'll load it again. And so by picking all of those elements and sections carefully, or maybe not even carefully, but as to sort of combine some full soundscape, you can create combinations like that that sound interesting and change over time. And yeah, so that's probably a first sort of way to show you what generate and other stuff can do that way. So I might be back with another video at a later time. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed the modules, and have fun with them. So I'll put this volume down. So cheers, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.